Today, the government of Belize, through the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment, is proud to launch the National Protected Areas Secretariat. This office will now be responsible to coordinate the implementation of the National Protected Areas Policy and System Plan. This action certainly demonstrates our government's manifesto pledge of safeguarding our natural wealth and our heritage. Critical to the success of the Secretariat and the System Plan is the National Protected Areas Technical Committee that we have appointed.
This initiative today is very important because it demonstrates government's commitment to actions outlined in the plan. One of them is to set up an enabling administrative structure that allows us to achieve the objectives in the system plan. The system plan is widely regarded by all members of the protected areas stakeholders as the key statement on Belize's, the management of Belize's protected areas. So this is reinvigorating government's commitment. It's announcing it to the stakeholders that the government is serious and committed to this process, and that's why we're here.
The Secretariat is designed as an arm of the Ministry of Natural Resources to act as a conduit for all projects and organizations and communications in the Protected Areas Systems Plan.
The National Land Use Policy is expected to articulate and guide the use and development of land according to its suitability and functionality. The policy will serve to give structure to sectoral policies dealing with land use, which include forest, agriculture, human settlements, and tourism, and will serve to facilitate a holistic approach to development by integrating land use planning into development planning.
Today we were actually here to witness the launch of the National Land Use Policy, which is one of the center pieces of the larger project, the Sustainable Land Management Project, that is being executed by the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment through the Forest Department. And what this policy is going to do is bring all the different initiatives that we've been having since the beginning of this decade, the Horizon 2030, the National Protected Areas System Policy, and many other initiatives. We're hoping to bring all of these things into one developmental plan for the country of Belize. We're looking at land management as an entire system as opposed to the ad hoc manner that is being done in now.
In terms of the land use policy, well, it's a cry if you listen to the calls this morning on the talk show. We had the village councils, and we have the Mile 41 project looking at how government approach to land distribution. This one will bring a structured approach, having land use guiding the distribution in terms of the suitability and functionality for the land, how we incorporate all of that so that everybody that use land as a means of economic development for very survival in a country, that everybody is served, and is served in a way that will also serve development goals for Belize.
To have a policy in itself is not enough. We need an integrated planning framework. Essentially, once we have the policy there, how are we going to go about it? What is the process? What are the steps that we have to take? And of course, a land suitability mapping system. Another deliverable from this project is to have an integrated framework, essentially like a manual. This is how you get from A to B using those criteria. And the criteria will be the mapping system. We will map Belize, or using existing mapping, putting it together, say this area flood, don't build towns there. This area is poor soils, don't do agriculture there. This area is steep soils, don't clear that because you get landslide. So we will make a mapping system. Again, that will be part of that integrated tool that will help government making decisions on allocation of land.
The major funding came from Jeff, from PAC, from the Oak Foundation, and of course, government of Belize. It's a combination of efforts. I am certain that everybody realizes the importance of this policy being set up, and that is why we came together to put up the proper funding.
We have a mandate from the government of Belize to ensure that we have an adequate supply of funds to support the management of protected areas, and so PACT has always been a major co-financier on behalf of the government of Belize to work with organizations that are involved in protected areas management and to fund these activities. And so our presence here today demonstrates our commitment both financially and in other ways, technical support to support the government of Belize and our other partners to manage protected areas.
Oak Foundation has supported marine conservation initiatives in Belize for over a decade now, and we've found that these efforts are better bolstered or poised if they're nestled within a broader context of national development. And so it's really a breath of fresh air to hear that the Ministry of Natural Resources is embarking on two major initiatives. One is the process for creating a land use plan for development in Belize overall, and it's also looking to begin with some speed the implementation of its policies and program of work around parks, protected areas. So it couldn't have come at a better time, and we stand ready to help them with this endeavor. It's excellent.
The current government is reinforcing its commitment to Belize having a systems plan that takes all our protected areas and our conservation communities streamlined into one big process that allows us to interface with our neighbors, including Guatemala, Mexico, and Honduras. And so a systems plan is critical to that because Belize holds a big place and a big portion of the biodiversity that is critical to the survival of particular species in this region.
But I want to make sure that all Belizeans should be proud of this special launching of today, because once again, Belize really stands out, not only in Central America, but in the entire Latin America and the Caribbean, as the leader when it comes to protecting our environment.